been making a lot of modding content recently for BeamNG, and my latest kick is to make complete BeamNG mods very quickly. The last one was this AC Cobra sort of knockoff. Now, may be looking at this going, well, that looks like an automation car. Well, it started as an automation car. As you can see here, if I turn back on the UI, that it actually has a whole bunch of things that automation cars don't usually come with. One of the things that automation cars don't come with is big realistic V8s. Now, you could make V8s, but yeah. Now, do I make the mods better so then they don't jiggle like they do here? Or do I just level this up a little bit? I feel that the 70s had some really cool cars, but it is mostly underappreciated. And one of the cars which I feel is mostly underappreciated, though very freaking cool, is one that was so cool, it used a very copyrighted song. This thing is gorgeous, and I still feel that it's underappreciated. It was not America's first turbo car, but it was America's first love turbo car. And this car, look how cool it is. It just, yeah. As the song says, it is bad to the bone. In later years, though, it has been getting a little bit more appreciation, but I still think it deserves more. Because I'm sure it's blocky, and sure it's only a V6, but my god, this thing rips. I wonder if there's any on the BeamNG repository, though. Automation? But you know what, doesn't look too bad. The next one? Oh. It's also automation. Still though, not the worst looking vehicle. And the last one is also automation. God damn it. And also looks pretty okay. So I'm thinking there's a bit of a limitation with making GNXs in automation, but I also don't want to spend the months that it could take to model an entire vehicle. So here's a 3D model aggregate website, and let's see what we can find for maybe free. This one looks modified, so I'm gonna pass on that one. This one's having an issue, though I will say, this is very tempting. But here, this one seems to look pretty darn good, interior and everything, which is not something to be taken for granted in these models. Doesn't look too bad. I wonder, do we get to see what materials they had? No, we didn't. The next question is what should we really be using as the base here? I would have said something like the Brockle Legrand, considering that it, mostly represents it. Unfortunately, though, this is 4-door, and that doesn't work for me. The other thing that's a little bit frustrating is it is an east-west engine, which is not the right sort. To be honest, I think the Soliad Wendover probably fits it the most. Except we got a few oddities like this hood opening the front ways, and once again, we have a transversely mounted engine. But I think it's going to be fine. Let's start by grabbing all of the JBeam, then exporting all of this to the same directory. Then with everything, we're gonna replace Wendover with GNX. And that is going to replace a lot of things. Unfortunately, it hasn't changed any of the names, so that's gonna have to change. Now starting with the main JBeam, let's see what we've got here. We've got some brake stuff, we got some glow map stuff, which we're probably just gonna get rid of. Actually, you know what? I think this has indicators in there. So we'll leave this for now. Then we got some skins, of which we're going to do away with. And the rest of this is looking fairly good. So, save. Next is the body. And this is where we're gonna start. Well, the windshields are gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna get rid of things that we don't need. So side skirts are not a thing that we have with this model. Fascia, we're gonna leave. Bumpers are all good. Trim, we might do away with, we'll see. Fender flares, don't need. Bumpers front and rear we have. Windshield is gonna have to take a bit of trickery. Backlight is the back windshield. I don't know what's called backlight, still, whatever. Rear quarter glass, that is selectable, so that's in there. ABS and line lock we can keep in. Suspension front and rear, we're gonna grab from a different vehicle, considering this thing doesn't actually have any, or at least front suspension. Rear suspension, there's something there that we should be able to work with. Yeah, that's not enough to work with. So we'll have to be looking up to see what that's meant to be and use that. Fuel tank, engine, radiator, that's all good. Roll cage, I think we can adapt a roll cage to work. Tow hitch is fine. Lettering fender. Do I even want to bother with this or just have it on the fender? I think we're just gonna lose that altogether. Spotlights, I don't think we have. Antenna, you know what, we'll leave antenna on so people can do like a police version of this. The roof accessory, I believe, is also for police, so we'll leave that. Seats, interesting. If we have a look in here, we have fronts and rear, so we'll be using them. Same with the dashboard. No goops. The flex bodies now. This is going to take quite a bit. Body? Wait. That includes the fenders. All right, we're gonna have to separate that a bit. I was told that if I just select this object and hit P, that it would let me, like, kind of explode the separate parts up. But it doesn't seem that that's working. Oh, apparently we have to be in edit mode. Now I can go in and press P and... what? I have to go in and then only have what I want. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and select a whole bunch of different things to get them all to be together. I don't know why some of these things are separate when they probably shouldn't be. Now if I select just the fender, perfect. Then we're also gonna select, nah, damn it, I was hoping to not have that be connected as well. So let's go in and edge split that too. Now with all of that split, let's try that again. Link and link, perfect. Except, what is this? I don't know, whatever. We'll just go ahead and then M by distance. Then we're gonna use P, selection. So let's have a look. If we select that now, perfect, it's its own thing. All right, let's go in and do that. Now we're on to the big part, which is the whole body. What we wanna do now is change all of this like a _.001 because BeamNG does not like having periods in there. I think it's Control F2. Yeah, find and replace. Oh, you know, actually, no. Screw this. We're actually going to name this properly. So this is going to be GNX Fender FR. And, you know, so on and so forth. Now that we've gone this far, let's start putting things together. So grab you, export this again, put this in here, then over in BeamNG. Oh wait, it's not going to be there, is it? Let's go ahead and grab ourselves an info and just a basic PC. And I think that's all we need. Oh, well, there's also a default image. Good, let's grab them. We're going to hit Control L to reload all of the Lua and basically everything on the back end. That way, if we hit Control L, we should now be able to see our GNX somewhere. Still called the Solid Wendover, but you know what? That's fine. Spawn new. And what do we get? Nothing. You hold Control. I don't see any hidden nodes coming up, but if I hit Tab, I can't move the camera anymore. So there's something there, it's just a bit bugged out. Oh, apparently I accidentally put like GNX in front of everything. So let's go ahead and fix that all up. Now, if we tab over to the other car, camera locks up, hit Control R, it's probably, oh, something really. There's an 180-degree rotation, so let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's about right. Object, apply, all transforms. And now, with an update of DAE, would you look at that? It's way too low. But let's have a look at our collision mesh here. Yep, that does need to be up just a smidge. Next on the list is the front fenders. This is all basically good to stay the same for now, except for the fact we're gonna change this. And now if we hit Control R, look at that! Perfect. Now we should also be able to rip it off already. Look at that. Mod done. Completo. You get the rest of the idea. I don't want to do the rest. That's a lot of work. You'll be wondering, well, if there's no main.materials file, where is it getting all of its like no material fixings from? Let's go into vehicles and then go into our GNX. There we go. It started making itself its own thing. Perfect. Except it's going to have a few conflicts with body, per se. Deserialize file. What the hell does that mean? Materials. Okay. Error at byte 447, missing a comma or bracket after object number. What? I mean, you made this file. Why would it be having an issue? Well, I'm gonna put that on the back burner for now because nope, that's not happening. One thing I am going to do right now is show you that I've done a whole bunch of work, and this is looking pretty darn good. Yes, these indicators will be touched up a little bit later, but this rear trunk at the moment is my big issue. I want to move these nodes, which are on the body, along with these nodes, which are on the trunk. Now, I can go in and edit this in the code itself and just like move every single individual node, or I can use this like really outdated bit of software. And because it's me, old outdated software wins. To know where to line it up though, we have to import an object. Unfortunately though, it only works in OBJ format. So let's go ahead and export it, and that'll take however long that takes. Then import it here and see if things are happy, which probably is. Oh no, it did okay. I can't actually see where the line is right now. If we have a look here, all of these nodes should probably move as well. Well, you know what, that's not so bad. All right, let's drag you back then and up a little bit, and that should do it. Then, oh, this is updating on its own. Oh, that's great. No, it didn't save the body. Let's hit Control R. No, okay. Didn't move the body. That's annoying. What happens if we open the trunk? You know what, it doesn't collide anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Now we're gonna grab ourselves the GNX trunk, plop that in there. Thank you. Okay, this guy helped me out. Disable you. Hey, thank you. That was, I didn't fully understand it, but now I get it. Much like when you do skins, there's ways of making different parts colorable. And the reason why there's 3 colorable sections here is because red, green, blue. So this will be the first colorable area, which will be red, then green, then... So I just have to put in a blank material of red. Makes sense? That's the one. We'll grab you, and then we're gonna grab this entire line, open up our main materials, and we're gonna stick it, I believe, right here. Save that, come back to here, Control R, will that do what we wanted to do? No, god damn it. Could it be that it doesn't want to be 1.5, like, okay, updated. Then we're gonna add a layer. It's working already, oh my god! Let's go, gray, and then pretty black there, and then bring up the clear coat roughness a little bit. Next is the interior. You know what? You get the idea. Let's go to the end. Well, it's going to be the end for you. For me, it's going to be painstaking work. And there we have it. The interior is done. We have all the steering wheel. You may notice, though, that we don't seem to have a shifter. Well, that's because this doesn't have a transmission. Well, this is where we get to the next little doodad. Oh. Alright, so we have a bit of an issue with our hood not wanting to open correctly sometimes. There we go. Okay, hood's open, no engine. So the first thing is we haven't taken the meshes over from the Wendover yet. Yeah, I've done a little bit of driving around. What I was doing was trying to figure out whether they got the airbags to work, because the steering wheel is specifically called an airbag steering wheel. So I was testing that. If we have a look at the engine, east-west, as I said, I don't want to deal with that. So what we need to do is, for the most part, we're not going to bother with this right now. Just find an engine that looks like that. Got some slatted valve covers and an intake manifold. Intake, let's go with sports intake. Will it change it from looking like a carburetor? Great, thanks. You know what, actually it kind of does. So, we're gonna grab this whole mesh system, put it in here but rotate it, and we're also gonna grab a different engine, or at least engine nodes and mounts. Rotate, oh damn it. Let's go median point. Oh. Okay, well, this is an annoying thing because this has a rotation here, so rotate 90 degrees. Oh, that is weird. Minus 90 degrees. Then we're gonna move you into place again, somewhere around here. Except the intake manifold is the wrong way around, which also comes with its own thing. Why is there a belt attached to an intake manifold? How does that even make sense? Then copy this and paste it in here. Does that fit even? Oh, yes, it does. Almost. You know what? We don't need you. Re-export this. Right. Jesus. It's the next day. And it's like past the middle of the day. I woke up at like an ungodly hour of the morning, and it's taken me half another day to get this to a point where it's nearly done. And I've just realized that something is a little bit amiss along, whatever, you get the idea. I did end up getting a turbo in there. It has the right amount of power, and for some reason this is jiggling, which it wasn't doing before, but now is. Great. To get this to have the suspension I wanted, I ended up grabbing the suspension from this, and I started to realize that having a solid axle is really indicative to have a chassis frame here. So I had to do a lot of work to get that to work. Now, ignore the rear tire. We're about to talk about that in a second. But we got the engine and turbo all set up, which I took the turbo model from here because it just seemed to fit quite nicely. And then got it all routed properly. There is actually an intercooler up here. I am mostly happy with that. This luckily already came with a mesh for a wheel. Now, this is set up to be something like 20 inches or something, so we brought it back down in size. I just kind of took from the common folder, which is a really easy way of doing it, which is also why I took that turbo, is because that meant that I wouldn't then have to take the materials and all that sort of stuff. All I could have to do is just bring the turbo over. Same with this, all I did was just grab a bit of code, then I implemented the wheel to be the new thing, and we're all good. Except one thing. And this is really annoying. For some reason, the GNX came with 8-inch wide wheels and 255 wide tires. But in BeamNG, I can't have that combination because apparently that's too wide for the wheel. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I identified through a quick search of a tire that has the right width. Perfect, it'll have all the traction and everything that we need. All is good here, except for, you know, being the wrong size. But if I was just to grab this, well, there's going to be some problems, so let me show you. We'll grab this, which is the slot so we can call upon it, and we'll plop that in there. And now you kinda see the issue. Yeah. So instead, we're not going to do that. We're going to go to our 16 by 8. I think we have Alt-B. It was like the original sort of tire, so that doesn't really matter. We'll go 16 by 9s because they're very close. And then we're going to grab a Sport. And we're going to rename all of this as well. All the flex bodies now get to stay the same. This I'm actually going to change. And then I think we can get away with actually just changing this section here, which is all of the tire properties. Here's the tire wall, stiffness and all that sort of stuff. That's fine. Here's a bit of how much the tire weighs, the drag coefficient. Here's more on like the beam deforms and spring stuff. Yeah, it's just this. So here we are at the 17-inch. We're gonna grab, oh, it's a 0.2 apparently, but that's fine. We're gonna grab you and then plop you in there. Good. And then rear tires, we got our GNX tires there. Woo! And with that, we are done. Let me show you one other little thing that I'm happy about. See that shifter? The steering wheel and everything? All fully animated. Whee! Well, it didn't stand up to a crash very well. You're also gonna notice that because when glass breaks, it does like an animation sort of thing to switch it to a different mesh. I don't have that. I'll deal with that later though. For now, let's just enjoy this GNX. I also realized that I don't have an exhaust mesh, but beggars can't be choosers. This is already taking way too long, and I'm gonna be streaming soon, so this is such a pain in my butt cheeks, and for some reason I can't get the rear to stop bouncing quite as much as what it does. I mean, I've got good shocks, I've tried bad shocks, I've tried no shocks, and for some reason the rear just wants to bounce way too much. So if you've got the intelligence to know how to fix this weird rear suspension bounciness issue, please to God let me know. I kind of want to show this to somebody. Why is the front suspension incredibly cambered like that? I wonder if I refresh. Oh, okay, it was just some sort of damage, was it? Oh, didn't even know that I did damage it. Anyway, who do I show it to? All right. So it is like day whatever. I don't know anymore. This has taken so long to get just right, but we have somebody here who is fairly knowledgeable about American cars. Probably the most knowledgeable of American cars that I know. Vens.
Hello, I'm Vince. I know about American cars because of the best cars.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's the car. You can come over and have a look at it.
Oh, you built a freaking GNX?
Yeah. I grabbed a model from online.
Dude, it looks so good.
Oh yeah, it works and everything.
It looks so... What the heck?
Hold on, I'll get the hood at some point. The hood is...
Right.
The hood has problems. Alright, you know what, screw this.
How am I supposed to compete with this level of build, bro?
This is not an automation build.
Oh, dude, this is like a full-on mod.
Oh, yes it is. So, it'll overheat unless you put a bigger radiator on. So, at the moment, I think it's pretty perfect.
Alright, let me see. You can do a donut, though.
Oh, yeah. It's got the slush box automatic. But it does have a limited slip differential.
Nice.
Wait, is yours one-wheeling?
I think mine's... Yeah, mine's one-wheeling. My mic stand is broke again.
Oh, dear.
And I am one-wheel peeling.
Go...
Real American hours right now.
Go Control W and go to the save and load section and hit load on turbo.
All my duct tape has fallen off.
Actually, you know what? Come over and pop your car next to me. Yeah, because they're NASCARs. And this thing will only do 200 kilometers an hour, which is like 120, 130-ish miles per hour.
Yeah, hearing probably, yeah.
So yeah, they're not very fast. You know, the one thing I find weird is the top speed. This will go faster than 1, because this is based on the Wendover. Oh dear. You seem to have had it coming together with the wall. Quick, reset, keep up. Oh yeah, it does get a bit tail-lappy.
Kind of messed up, yeah. Well, I got respawn already. I wasn't expecting it to be drifty for a Buick Regal.
So, it turns out that they really underquoted the... Oh, Jesus, Vans, what are you doing? Are you coming back to BeamNG anytime soon to make videos?
Yes, I am. I've been working on it.
Sweet. Because out of all of the content creators, you're one of the most kind of like rizziest automation creators. And it would have been great if you had kept on. I mean, I don't want to say you have Riz because you haven't released enough videos to really take that title.
Man, what does Riz even mean in this sense, bro?
Riz? Charisma.
Oh.
I lack charisma, but I make up for it in the occasional joke, which mostly falls flat, but also in technical skills, showing people things that they've not seen before. You know, like a GNX.
I don't have any of the technical skills. Okay, yeah, I cannot drive. I've been thinning out.
It's not an easy vehicle to drive. You may want to deflate the rear tires. But what do you give my car?
Oh, dude.
It's got full interior and everything.
I'm aware. This looks sick. You can this is like a paid mod quality.
I mean, if it wasn't somebody else's model, I would probably agree with you, but this is somebody else's model. Anyway, Vans, thank you for joining me. Also, thank you, my channel members, for joining me. But for now, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This has been fun, but also like, oh my god, so hard to do.
How did you do that?
I wasn't paying. I was looking backwards. It's not my fault. For now, though, everybody else, I would like to say I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.